welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have another one of these vending machine type videos, but this one is totally different as I've decided to do a gumball machine. So I've had this idea for the longest of time, but I just haven't got round to filming it. So today I've done exactly that. It's taken me the whole entire weekend to do this, but I'm here today to upload it for you. So as you can see, you just turn that little kind of knob bit at the top and then out pops a squishy in a little kind of plastic container, and then you can just squish it to your heart's content, just like I did and kind of ruin it. But that was actually a handmade squishy. It was super old, but it fit inside the little capsules, so that's why I used that one. Anyway, to start off with, what I decided to do was take this clear fish bowl, which I actually got from Poundland in like the hen party section. And what I did was I took a small thin kind of piece of cardboard and wrapped it around the edge. I cut it down to size and used tape to kind of like seal it in place and making it into a ring. Next, taking a cardboard box, I just cut out all the pieces from it. Basically, I just cut it into loads of bits and kind of cut all those bits up. But I made sure that two pieces were the same kind of thickness as that ring. And then taking one of those pieces, I popped it down onto another piece of cardboard and just drew two diagonal lines, one from one side, one from the other, making it wider at the bottom. I then cut this shape out so it was like a trapezium type shape, and then once I had that, I then popped that down onto some more cardboard, drew around it and cut out a second one of those. I then went ahead with some hot glue and I just hot glued all four pieces together to make them into a nice 3D base for my gumball machine. So I did actually use hot glue, but you can use tape, duct tape or something will work absolutely fine. I just decided to use hot glue because I had it handy, and yeah, hot glue just worked perfectly, to be honest. Once I had all four pieces in shape, I then took a Dr. Pepper bottle and I just marked off the width of the overall base and I cut this down to size. What I then did was I made sure to make a hole big enough to fit the lid through, so that when I popped the Dr. Pepper bottle in, I could then poke through the lid through the front, which actually made the button to turn. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Basically, once I put that in, the bottle then kept slipping downwards, so I actually made a V out of cardboard just by taking a bit, folding it in half and then gluing it just to kind of trap the bottle so that it didn't fall down. I also took two shorter bits of cardboard and hot glued them also just to the very ends of that V to make sure that it was all in case so that it didn't flop to the side either, because the bottle just kept going wild when I twisted that button. Next, to make sure that I could have like a little section for the kind of prize to fall in, I actually attached a piece of cardboard to the ring bit and cut out a square, and I used that to line up with the bottle and drew an outline so that I could make a hole in the bottle in the right place so that the prize could go through the top, through the ring, and then like through into the bottle to catch it. To make sure it didn't go either side of the bottle, I actually put two cardboard stoppers in. I just hot glued these into place, just big enough for the prize to sit there without another one falling in. As you can see now, I'm just testing it out, so the ring's on top with that piece of cardboard, the prize can go right through into the bottle and then just spin around. I then needed to make a hole where you would collect your prize, and I just decided to do a trapezium-like shape again, just to kind of fit in with the overall kind of design of the gumball machine. I was going to do this as a square, but I'm happy I went with this shape because it kind of fits a little bit better. I also took a piece of cardboard and just kind of shoved it up into the bottom of it, just to act as a platform just below that prize section. I kept the piece that I cut out for the prize kind of door, and then I just cut that down so that it could be kind of free swinging in that gap. And I actually took two pieces of paper, hot glued them to the insides to act as hinges for that little door. I then hot glued these pieces onto the original piece of cardboard that I cut out and trimmed down. To make sure the prize kind of little bit at the top only made like one prize at a time, I actually took loads of little bits of cardboard and just popped them in and around the square where the prize would fall through, so that it would act more like a funnel and that only one would be able to go through at a time. I then hot glued that piece to the very top, just in place, and set it all to dry. Once the thing was all completely made, I then went ahead and spray painted the button, and then I decided to make some signs to go onto my gumball machine. So I actually just cut out 2 pieces of cardboard, just both in rectangles, just really simple shapes, and painted one in blue and one in pink. The paint that I'm using is actually Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I'll leave all the links down in the description down below. I know a lot of people are going to be skeptical about whether or not this video is sponsored, because all the decorations I've used are by the brand Rust-Oleum, but don't worry, I bought all of these things myself, and they're just things that I've like kind of had in my collection for the longest of times, and I just really like the brand. So yeah, this video is not sponsored. I bought everything. They don't even know I'm making this. I just like the brand and have a lot of their stuff, so hopefully I can clear that up before anyone gets confused. So on the blue one I actually wrote prize, and then on the pink one I wrote turn, both with an arrow and both in this silver metallic pen, again by Rust-Oleum. I love these pens. I always use them on my vending machines because they are so metallic and just so beautiful. Anyway, once the silver spray paint was dry on the button, I went in with that same blue chalk paint that I used on the sign and just ended up painting the whole entire gumball machine in this colour. I absolutely love this colour so much. It's so gorgeous, and I just ended up painting the whole gumball machine in that colour. The top, the sides, just everything, yeah, everything in the blue. Next I took this old slime container, and this is what I've been using to mix up painting, but I just spray painted it silver and let that dry. Once that was drying, I went ahead and painted pink bits onto the gumball machine. I did like the little prize hatch in this nice dusky pink colour, and I also painted the ring at the very top, which kind of holds the top of the gumball machine in place. I also painted that in the same pink colour also. I also feel like I've just said also 10 billion times. But next I went ahead and painted on a little kawaii face onto the very bottom, just with acrylic paints. I used black for the eyes and the mouth, a little pink for the tongue, and then white with a dotting tool to add highlight to the eyes. This is the same face that I like to draw on everything, and I felt like my gumball machine would not be cute without a little face on, so I just went ahead and did it. I know gumball machines don't have faces, but it's my gumball machine and I wanted a face. So you can obviously decorate yours however you like. I really hope that some of you make this, by the way, because this thing has turned out so great, and the only thing that I had to buy for it was the fishbowl, which obviously cost me £1, and everything else was completely recycled, which is so great when it comes to DIYs. Like, I love recycling things and getting to use things that you would almost throw away otherwise, and you get to make them into something so cute. Anyway, what I then did was I took those signs and I just popped them onto the bits where I wanted them to go. As you can see, I did do a bit of pink around that little button, and I did an arrow also, and I then took my silver pen and just ended up putting lots of detail all the way around. I then hot glued around that slime container and just hot glued it to the very top of the fishbowl. I don't think I told you, by the way, that fishbowl is actually plastic. You can get glass ones which are really expensive, but like I said, this one here was from Poundland. It cost me £1, which is I think like just over $1, and yeah, it's plastic and it's just great and so worth it for this project. But what I did then was I filled up the fishbowl and then popped it in the ring, and my gumball machine was then complete. So as you can see, this is a full view. You can get a nice shot of my really messy room here too. Aren't you so lucky? But in order to make it work, all you have to do is turn the knob completely 360 so that the arrow points to the top again, and then your prize will fall out and you can just then open it up. I have like completely filled mine with mini squishies, homemade ones and bought ones from like those 50 pieces packets that you can get from Amazon and stuff, but you can fill your gumball machine with whatever you like. You can fill them with charms or even just sweets or just, you know, or whatever you want. I wanted to make it a squishy one just because I have so many mini squishies, and yeah, I thought it would be a really fun take on my vending machines. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, as it really does help me to gauge what type of videos you want to see in the future. So yeah, hopefully you liked this video and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!